Alright, so this is 7.5, and it's all about solving using the process of elimination. So we basically have three models doing this. If we have two ways, or if we have two equations that are easily graphed, usually the best way to solve them is to graph the two of them, see where they cross, you find your solution. If you have two equations where one of the variables or one of your coefficients in front of your variables is 1, then we use substitution because it's very easy to isolate one of the variables, throw it into the other one. When you have a situation where none of your coefficients are 1, they're kind of ugly looking, that's when we use elimination. Da, da, da. The steps for elimination. Your first step is going to make sure, or you're going to look at your two equations and you're going to try and pick one of the variables. We want the two coefficients, either the x's or the y's in front of them, to be the exact same. If they're not the exact same, we can multiply everything in the equation to make them the same. So we're going to make the variable, or rather the coefficient in front of the variables, the same, either x's or y's. Doesn't matter which one you pick. Your second step is once you've either made the x's or the y's, the coefficients are the same, you're then going to either add or subtract, depending on the positive or negative in front of it, to try and eliminate or get rid of it. So if you have like 3x and a 3x, if you subtract 3x from 3x, you get 0, and it's then eliminated. It's very wordy, it'll make more sense when I give an example. So we're either going to add or subtract one equation from the other one in order to eliminate one of your variables. But for step 3, you're going to have one variable left over, and you're just going to solve that remaining variable. And lastly, step 4, we take the solution from step 3, basically y or x is going to equal something, you pump it back into the other equation. You can put it into either equation, and we'll solve for the other variable. So, with the original equation, 3x plus 2y equals 5, and 2x plus 3y equals 0. Step 1 is to make one of the coefficients in front of our variables the same. You can either pick x or y, it doesn't matter which one you want to choose. In this case, it'll actually work out regardless of which way you do it. We're going to pick x's because it's nicer. So, what do 3 and 2 both go into? It's a nice number. 6. So, I'm going to multiply my first equation by 2 and my second equation by 3 so that I'm going to get 6x and 6x. Keeping in mind if I put a 2 or 3 in the front, I have to multiply everything by that number. So, 3x becomes 6x plus 2 times 2y becomes 4y equals 10. I get 6x, 3 times 3 would be 9y equals 0. So that was step 1. Step 2 kind of takes a bit of thought here. We're going to either add or subtract with the goal of eliminating one of our variables. If I add 6x and 6x, what do I get? If I add positive 6x and positive 6x, I get 12x. And if I add 2, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to help us. The goal is to eliminate one of these. So if I subtract the two, what is 6x minus 6x? 0. It's nothing.
Is it right 0?
Yes. It eliminates it. That's the whole point of this process. What is 4y minus 9y?
Negative 5.
There you go. Negative 5y. And what's 10 minus 0? 10. So for step 3, we're going to basically solve for y. So I'm going to take my negative 5y, negative 5 from both sides, divide it. Y turns into 10 divided by negative 5 turns into negative 2. So I can multiply that into any of my y's from the original equations. Personally, pick an easy one. Don't make your life harder than it already is. So I'm going to go 3x plus 2y, so negative 2, equals 5. 3x, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, equals 5. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So 3x equals 9. And last step, 9 divided by 3. X is going to equal 3. Just like last time, we could take those two coordinates, plug them back in to check your answers, just like we did for substitution. Okay. And just like last time, it is always good to check your answers. Again, if you're going to check, it doesn't matter which ones you check it into. So if I go 3x, 2y equals 5, and 2x plus 3y equals 0, the points are 3 and negative 2. So 3 times 3 plus 2 times negative 2 equals 5. So we have 9 minus 4 equals 5, which it does. If I have 2 times 3 plus 3 times negative 2, so I'm going to have 6 minus 6. We know that both sides work for this. So again, you can always check your answers for the test. Your homework is on page 436. Questions 3 to 6. Oh, sorry, 3 and 6. A, B, C. It's only 6 questions.
ABC for 6 or ABC for 3 and 6?
Both.
No, for 6, do I do to D?
No, 3 and 6, A, B, C.